excited.
George for three.
That's one of the reasons why Paul George is an all-star is he can make bad shots. You're not going to find a tougher defender than Ariza. They're going to get numbers. There's no doubt about that. So if they keep you under 100, you've got no chance to beat them.
Boy, I like the bounce in the step of the Pacers here early.
It's the bit, yes.
As George the other way, his jumper perfect, and Paul George has a 9-point. Throwing it down is George!
That was showtime there for sure.
He'll pound it down.
Yeah, he was up ahead because he was guarding Harden. Harden missed the shot.
Sit up off the glass and good!
I'm telling you, he's had two really good, actually, the last 3 games he's made them.
Gets inside, basket and a foul. Once he got to the rim, all he had there was Ryan Anderson. Oh! He threw it down!
That's a punch! Way to go, PG!
We have not seen anything like that from Paul George since the injury.
Oh, did he take it?
Here's George again!
Got it on fire now. Auto.
These natives work one-on-one. Team beats him in the lane. Jump shot perfect.
I mean, there is no better scenario for Paul George. Fifth foul, isn't it? That's a heck of a play for the Pacers.
And the 3-ball is good the other way.
Oh, the defense, right into the teeth of the defense. Looks like there's nowhere to go.
Dedmon stayed with it, and George still scores.
Again, he's a phenomenal talent.
And unfortunately on cue, making it 26-20.
That was a trade that's, to me, interesting. As Paul George comes off, and you don't want to start off your...
Got it up and in, and an and one over LaMarcus Aldridge.
Right.
Paul George answers with a triple at the other end. Inside, Seraphin for 2.
Almost.
There you go. 2 seconds off the clock.
Good enough that they could come back from get W's. Did that a little bit against Houston.
Yep.
On the road, run back and keep Howard out of the game.
Open 3, and he's hit all 3 of his shots.
Well, it was a good find too because he
30, lost to Cleveland, and Paul George. Here's Paul George again for his 3rd 3, and he has it going. He has 13. George will try and tie it, and he has been perfect.
It's definitely free throw.
It's on Bazemore. George, baseline, 2 more.
This ball is not even touching the rim, Chris. I mean, he's got to shoot it. I'm sorry. If he's coming down and he's got the ball and he can get it.
Oh, my!
Was that the jinx there?
No, that was no jinx.
That was
George, pull up 3.
Good.
Got it!
Yes.
Defender,
great find.
George for 3.
Great find by Jeff T.
Here chasing him around the baseline screen and goes over the top and gets caught for doing it. In the air a little bit, knowing he's going to be in Indiana for the rest of this year.
Yeah, I think so.
3 on the way. There we go.
I think allowed the Pacers to continue to play and work their way back into that game.
Paul George seemingly getting it going here tonight, getting it done. As Paul George again with a 3.
Back here on this last possession that they can take into the locker room as Paul George knocks that basket down.
Kick to Paul George, and that's Cash.
And right now the Hornets.
Paul George, long ranger on the way. That's good. And here come the Pacers.
Ready, and he's performing well as George knocks down the jumper. A little bit delayed getting back to Zeller on the backside as Paul George knocks down the 3.
Like he is on that last play. When he gets cooking, watch out. So really is the voice.
The teams before they can get set. George got it. Hung on the rim and dropped in for the Pacers all-star, his first field goal. Part of Paul George got the score and the foul on Magruder.
Pretty tough. We know that. Now Josh Richardson is guarding Paul George.
George over Waiters. Paul George gets his first score this quarter. He's got going into the playoffs.
Sounds like they went to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Thinking about getting in at 4:30. That one sticks for Paul George. Paul George turns the corner. And Whiteside backpedaling. George now with 21. Back to George for 3. He's one smooth operator. George had. Well, he got it to the right guy.
The Knicks have won 2 or 3 this season after being.
Paul George gets inside, knocks it down. George with his first field goal, he's been 0 for 4. And George easily gets inside.
Zorsville in the paint.
Throws one up and knocks down the 3. 8 for Indiana. And banks it home. Anthony was draped all over him. Man advantage. For the most turnovers as George knocks it down by a player in his Johnson, who was very young as George knocks down the 3. Over him and hits.
George, that's a three. That makes it 25 points.
Quick trigger.
There it is.
Paul George.
You get on the offensive end, they'll make you pay.
He can do it anywhere on the floor.
Reads the defense just like a two-guard.
Paul George weaves inside, scores, and draws the foul. This is George. Rattles it through. Paul George leads both sides for Indiana. And Paul George, the bucket and the foul for game. Hornets going to need him to get up to that number possibly. They were threatened by Philadelphia. Paul George hits a three-pointer.
I feel threatened.
Paul George, two more. Paul George back on the floor, keeps on keeping on.
That's their bread and butter play. Put George in that short corner, get it down.
George. It has been a consistent performance. Paul George, that's a three, and he's fouled.
Paul George, the hottest guy on the floor.
What a night for Paul George.
George.
That's 4 opportunities for the Pacers.
Paul George, 4-3, got it.
But it was the ball movement. It allowed people to get a rhythm.
For another three. And the Pacers have the lead. Pull-up shot, big-time shot by PG.
Because he knows form.
Wizards have had quite a regular season series this year. As who left as George hits a three.
Perfect.
Against Crowder.
He is feeling so confident. Really confident with the ball. To get it. Smart play there by Paul to take it at the end of the beginning of the first quarter.
And another three.
Yeah, because they had the mismatch. You got to make them pay for the mismatch.
Pacers 36 and 35. As we mentioned, 7th as the Pacers 5-6, 7 and 7 since the All-Star break as Paul George points per game. And that's good. Coming in this league has developed into Schindler, and he knocks it in. Those are the ones you got your hand up. He's 20 here in the period. Paul George is in the lane. That's good.
He allowed that real right hand to get a little.
Number 12 as Paul George. I'm going to give you our KeyBank key stat. It is free throw shooting tonight. And Nuggets take time out. Right by Gallinari goes Paul George.
Boy, watch out if he makes it.
He are struggling here to hang on.
6 of 8 from the three-point line in this quarter.